Hi guys.
Oh, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'd like you to talk just a little bit about yourself this year and how you're not surprised at the success that you're having on the court, are you?
I wouldn't necessarily say, I think I'm just like really grateful. Yeah, I don't want to sound like really, cocky, but like I just think I'm really grateful to be in the position that I'm in, and I think it has to do with a lot like the program that I'm at and my teammates and my coaches. I think that the way that I've grown has a lot to do with how much they push me every single day, so I'm very thankful.
Do you think sometimes the opposition tries to pick on you, get under your skin, so to speak?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could say that, but that's what happens, comes with the territory, so you just kind of got to take it, and there's always going to be people that have negative to say, but you just kind of got to take it and move on, so.
Are you a more confident player this year? Has something changed? I mean, everything evolves over the years.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you're a better player now than when you came here. What has changed in your abilities and your mental attitude and everything?
Yeah, it's definitely the confidence. I think I'm just playing like a lot lighter, and I feel like a lot more free when I'm playing. I'm not really worried about outside noise as much. I think I just go on the court, and my biggest priority is to do what I have to do to make the team win, and that's all I care about. So.
And is that a little bit difference from last year?
Oh, yeah.
Tell me.
Yeah, I think last year I was so worried about like the wrong things, and I think it had a lot to do with things that weren't really in my control. And I think once I let that take over my mental state, I think it just kind of showed in how I played. I feel like I just played a lot more timid, but I feel like now I'm just able to like take control of what I'm doing out there a lot.
And do you feel free on the court?
I do. I feel really good, yes.
Well, I'm curious, developing your game in the post. I mean,
Yeah.
are there influences? Are there players that you saw that you've kind of tried to emulate? Were there coaches that kind of gave you the fundamentals or kind of helped with that? I mean, where does that come from?
Yeah, I mean, I really liked watching Leah Boston growing up. That was someone I always really admired, and I had Irvin Johnson, who's like an ex-NBA player. I grew up training with him, so he was a really big inspiration for me, and he basically taught me everything I knew in the post, and my footwork would not be the way where it is without him. He really taught me everything inside, so yeah, he was definitely a big part of my basketball career.
And I've heard coaches talking about post players, big players, that footwork is the absolute key.
It is. It takes you a long way, obviously. Like if you don't really know how to move and read your defender, it's really hard, especially with how elite everyone is at the college level. So.
Is this Irvin Johnson you're talking about, nicknamed Magic?
No, not Magic.
No, okay,
The other one.
okay, 'cause a lot of
Orlando.
people thought so.
Yeah, no, not that one.
Yeah.
ERVIN, right?
Yes. Yeah.
How did the fires impact the team, if at all?
Yeah, it was very difficult. I think, especially those first few days, we didn't really know what was happening, and so we were getting updated by, the news and like their coaches, and I think like at first there was a lot of anxiety, but I think the really good thing about our program is that we're very supportive of each other, and we have a lot of, tight chemistry, and our coaches like really value like how we're feeling beyond basketball, so I think that they took that and kind of like scheduled out the rest of our week, and they offered support, and some people went to some of the girls' houses nearby, so that was really good just to have that support.
Did it take you off your normal track for a little bit?
Yeah, it was a little bit weird at first. We were just like, okay, so we're not playing in poly, like what are we doing? Are we practicing? But I think the coaches just try to update us as much as possible so we're not left like wondering what we're going to do.
Lauren, can you speak to the team chemistry and also how your teammates inspire and help you build that confidence by always looking for you, always setting you up?
Yeah, I mean, we practice it every single day. I think that the sets that we run just put me in like best position possible, and obviously being double teamed, triple teamed is like really difficult. So I think just them reading, the timing of the cuts, the timing of the lifts, finding shooters, they're like screaming my name, trying to make sure that I can find them. That helps me so much, and I feel like it just helps me get into like a flow of the game, so I don't feel like I have to force anything. So they're really good at just helping me through all of that.
Have opponents gone after you differently in this conference than maybe they did in the Pac-12?
It's kind of this. I mean, a lot of the scouting reports usually just double team, triple team, so it's kind of the same. It's been like that since high school too, so I feel like I've always kind of had the same scouting report. Yeah.
Lauren, long season. Obviously, as good of a start as you could hope for, pretty much. But how do you guys stay focused off the court in terms of preparation through all of this travel to keep you mentally sharp and ready for these games?
Yeah, I think just blocking out any outside noise. Obviously, it's great being undefeated, and obviously, like there's all this hype around it. But I think we're just trying to stay as neutral as possible. And when we show up to practice, like you guys see, like the coaches don't take it easy on us. Like they do not care. So I think just showing up and like finding ways that we can get better every single day, and like working, our best to just make sure that we know our scouting report and like showing showing up each team prepared the same exact way, I think that's helped us a lot.
And to that point, do you feel like the intensity is picking up as we get closer to March here?
It for sure is, and I think obviously with me being an upperclassman now, I can kind of relay that message to the rest of my teammates, like, hey, okay, now it's getting serious, like we're, about to, we're getting through conference, like it's getting around that time, so just making sure that we're locked in always.
Did the South Carolina win, was that a breakthrough win psychologically, in addition to just beating them?
Yeah, I think that, we always believed that we were the better team, so it wasn't necessarily like a breakthrough mentally for us. I think it was just like, okay, like amazing win. Now maybe outside people understand how good we are, but I think that for us, like we're always going to believe that we're the best team in the nation regardless.
And do you feel that way right now?
I do. Obviously, so much room to improve, and the thing is that what I love about our team is that we never settle, so we're always going to find ways that we can get better no matter what our ranking is.
And the idea of being the hunted. And you were at Stanford for years, so
Yeah.
you understand what that's like, because Stanford always had a target on its back, and now UCLA.
Yeah.
Does that change your guys' attitude at all?
I don't think so. Like I said, we're never settling. Like you said, we're trying to stay, making sure that we're the hunted, and that we're not like playing like the victim role. So regardless of what happens, regardless of what we're playing, we're always going to show up the same way. And every single practice, whoever we're playing against, we're always going to prepare to the max, and just making sure that we're doing what we need to do to be our best.
And does that, I don't want to say easier for you, but maybe it's a comfortable situation for you because the biggest person on the floor, you're the center of attention anyway,
Yeah.
and everybody's coming after you.
Yeah, no, I mean it's difficult sometimes, but like I said, I have a really good group of girls around me, so they make my job a lot easier. Sometimes it looks pretty tough, but they really are helping as much as they can, and the coaches always put me in the best position.
Does the history of this school ooze down to you at all? I mean, obviously, you weren't even a thought in your parents' mind when the Wooden years, but I mean, do you obviously you know who Wooden is. Have you been taught any of his lessons? Does he come up at all? You're aware of what the men's team did in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah, obviously amazing. I'm really just thankful to be at this school with like all, the legacy that it has. But I think, obviously that was Coach Corey's mentor, and that's someone that she looked up to and admired. And I think she takes a lot of his style of coaching and kind of puts it, in the way that she coaches us as well. And so I think just, having that long line of like lessons that he taught her has definitely like left a strong message for me as well. And I'm kind of going to take that. But I think that, Coach Corey does a really good job of just continuing to spread his message. So.
Lauren, what was something you worked on in the off season, and like how did you go about it? Why were you trying to improve? Whatever.
I think for me it was like decision making and just slowing down and not feeling so rushed when I start seeing like two people running at me. So I think just making sure that I take my time, and obviously like I think I've gotten better in like how much the team chemistry has built as well. So like, as we've gotten the reps in of just making sure we're timing cuts and like I can find people, I think that's helped me get my game in like a whole different level, because I just think I'm reading my teammates a lot more and just finding open people, and I just think it's helped me so much.
How much input did your dad have on your game?
Yeah, so much. Obviously, I wanted to be like him growing up, so he is like my biggest fan, and he texts me a whole paragraph before every single game, giving me tips on what to do and what not to do, and he's great. I mean, he's just always been there for me, and obviously like really talented in my position, and he's taught me a lot as well with what I need to do, but yeah, he's great, yeah.
And to have both parents who have played collegiately and kind of understand how things go.
Yeah, I mean, it's great having two athlete parents. I mean, they just get it, and they understand all the hard work that goes into it and how hard it is sometimes to balance school and my life and basketball, and so they've just always given me great advice growing up.
So this really is all in the family.
It really is. It really is. It's crazy. And now, obviously Sienna coming in next year, it's just even crazier. Yeah. Yeah.
That's going to be fun.
I know. I can't wait for you guys to see how we act around each other. It's seriously insane.
Neither can we.
Right.
And Lauren, on that note of balancing life as a student, how much has the travel aspect gotten easier as you guys get deeper into the season?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to lie. That last travel trip was hard for a lot of us. I think it was towards the end we were just like, okay, like last push, like let's really stay locked into this Maryland game, and then we can go back to our beds in LA. But it was really hard. But I think that, just making sure that we're communicating with the coaches, like on what we need, and they're really good at listening to that. So if we needed one day after our game just to like rest and make sure that we're getting extra recovery, and then, maybe we can take study hall to our our rooms instead so that we can maybe get some extra nap time. That's something that the coach is taking into consideration.
And do you think this travel in the season will help you come March? You've probably got the most accumulated miles out of any team.
Yeah, no, I think so. I think, the amount of stress that can come with this and the amount of times that we've had to push, through everything that we're going through and like tiredness and exhaustion and jet lag, it's going to take us really far. And I think that, just making sure that we're always communicating to our teammates on how we're feeling and our coaches, I think that goes a long way.
Do you guys charter?
We do charter, yes. Yes.
That's got to be helpful.
It is. It is really nice. Yes. We get like a whole little aisle to myself. I can stretch and sleep. So yeah.
I know you've talked about it before, but I'd like you to talk about it again because a lot of times when people talk about this team, the focal point of it is you.
Yeah. I think it's obviously great, but I think that I would not be who I am without my players or my teammates and my coaches. Like seriously, like all of the attention and all of that, it's great. And I was just talking to my mom about it. I just think that, it comes to a point where like I just don't think people understand like how much depth this team really has. And like the reason that we're here today is not because of me, it's because of everybody that goes into this program and does the work. Kiki's over there busting her butt right now. Like she's, there's just so much work that goes into it. And this team is not solely based off of one player. There's so many talented people on this team.
Awesome.
Thank you guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.